Children of the 1970s were feral. Even us suburbanites in San Diego. We ran rampant until dark, smoked our parents' Pall Malls, toilet papered houses of our enemies, and created our own fun. We did have some benchmarks to guide us. Mr. Rogers taught us how to be kind. Sesame Street taught us our numbers and letters. Our parents grounded us when we messed up, and our teachers sent us to detention. We ran home to watch after-school specials that taught us school kids valuable lessons about kids who drank too much, girls that got pregnant too much, orphans that lost their parents too much, kids that lost their virginity too much, kids who turned into white supremacists too much, but not kids who were gay too much. As compelling as all those subjects were, I couldn't relate to any of them personally, but being gay was still more taboo than being racist. But a gay after-school special might have gone something like this. Debbie was new in town, just starting high school. She wanted to make friends, so she joined the softball team. There she met Becca, the pluckish third baseman, who taught Debbie how to hit a home run. Debbie's mom worried that they spent a little too much time together. Tune in Thursday for The Trouble with Debbie when Becca beckons. I'm an only child, but I was lucky to grow up on a street with lots of kids my age. There was a core group of 7 of us, 6 girls and 1 boy. Jimmy was 2 or 3 years younger than the rest of us, which is huge in kids' years. He was practically a baby, but there was something about him that we all liked that made us sophisticated older girls want to hang out with him. Yeah, he was cute in a teddy bear sort of way, but he wasn't old enough to go anywhere with us or add any wit to our conversations. But he had something so desirable that every kid in our neighborhood made every kid in our neighborhood green with envy and scurry to win his favor. His family had a swimming pool. Being a San Diegan, we kids were all taught how to swim from almost birth, so by the time we were all old enough, about 7 or 8, to sweet-talk Jimmy and his parents into using his pool, we were all swimmers. While we would swim, our moms would be lifeguards. Now, by lifeguards, I mean it would be their time to gossip, tan, smoke, read magazines, drink Coors, and wear big sunglasses. They looked just like an ad for Virginia Slims menthols. Just don't splash us was their only safety tip. There wasn't a life preserver in sight. The pool was about 100 feet deep and surrounded by the slipperiest cement in the world. And I know for a fact that my mom did not know how to swim, and I highly doubt that other moms did either. We core group of friends were reasonably diverse for 1970s San Diego. Many of my friends' families were churchgoers. Chrissy's family were Southern Baptists. Chrissy was sweet and gullible, but I got talked into going to Sunday school with her because my family did not go to church. Mrs. Levengood read us stories as we sat cross-legged and obedient. We are all sinners, she would tell us in her Midwestern drawl, and I know she was looking at me. I'm thinking, I'm 7. I haven't done anything yet. Tracy's family were Mormons, loud and large, with unlimited root beer in the fridge. Angela and Carla across the street were Catholics and first-generation Chinese Americans. Their mom introduced us to Cheech and Chong because she bought her son the Big Bamboo album. He told her it was classical music, and little Mikey would not lie. Beanie came from the kind of family you may find on most blocks that were a little rougher than the rest. Unkempt yard, questionable parents. Beanie was fun and always trouble, and talked me into smoking my first cigarette. Her mom liked me because I wasn't a tattletale that would tell on Beanie all the time. But boy, when we stole those cigarettes. Jimmy's mom was a sweet Texan with a long drawl, and his dad was from Mexico, and Jimmy was his only son. We all loved Barbies, even Jimmy. He had a wicked witch doll who, along with his hand-me-down G.I. Joes, were always game for whatever our Barbies were doing. Camping, stripping, getting dressed, having sex, or what we thought was sex, flying the Barbie plane, crashing the Barbie plane, or preparing for nuclear disaster. Jimmy would decorate our dream homes and design clothes for our Barbies. While we all played baseball in the street, he loved to draw women's shoes. They all looked insane, uncomfortable, and beautiful all at once. And learning more about shoes later, he wasn't entirely off the mark. His parents bought him a big Barbie head that he could put makeup on and style the hair. And he loved putting makeup on it and creating updos. But she was too big to play with the other Barbies. Jimmy had 6 girlfriends, and none of us gave a hang about hair or makeup. I loved my Jane West doll. She was a cowgirl made of plastic denim. Her hair was blonde and plastic, a sensible bob, no muss, no fuss, and a plastic vest and skirt that fit over her jeans, setting the style for tomboys everywhere, and how Jane Lynch got her look. Jimmy and I bonded over our love of music and pop culture. Some of my best memories were sitting around his room and listening to music. Our early idol was Linda Ronstadt. We'd sit in our rooms and listen to songs of relationships gone sour and violent and sad. Poor, poor, pitiful me. I took him to see Bambi and ended up blathering all over his shoulder the whole time. Later, when I was 17 and an adult guardian, I took him to see his first R-rated movie, Down and Out in Beverly Hills, with Bette Midler and Little Richard. It was my duty. When he was about 9, he showed me the new record he bought, Blondie's Parallel Lines. I don't remember how he knew about this record, but it was a revelation to us. Once had a love, and it was a gas, soon turned out had a big pain in the ass, and we'd giggle. We would sing along with Heart of Glass, not really knowing what it meant. He also bought Rapper's Delight, about Scooby-Doo and bad food. Oh wait, those songs were about sex. For some reason, our parents did not bat an eye when Jimmy and I began watching Love, Sidney. The show ran from 1981 to 1983 on NBC. Tony Randall played a gay man whose partner had died and takes in a single mom played by Swoosie Kurtz and her daughter to live with him. Jimmy and I would audio tape the show and would play the tapes so we could listen together. We memorized the theme song, but I won't bother you with it. Well, if you insist. Please believe me, lately my whole world's been changing. Suddenly you're here, and my life's better than before. We're friends forever. Tony Randall's Sidney was a proud, if muted by the network, gay man that Jimmy could look up to, and my crush on Swoosie Kurtz led to my admiration of and heartbreak over red-haired, theatrical character actresses. We didn't even discuss those aspects of the show at ages 11 and 9. We probably just subliminally saw ourselves a bit there. By 11 or 12, some of us girls were becoming very worldly with age and about to be in or in junior high. We knew how tough it was out there, and it would be very tough for Jimmy. The word gay wasn't in our vocabulary back then, but we knew what a sissy was. I knew it would be tough because I was not outgrowing my boyish style, nor did I want to. But the peer pressure was mounting. Tomboys like Tatum O'Neal or Jodie Foster or Christy McDougall were all okay when they were young on film, but even they outgrew all that. Young, softer men on screen were almost unheard of, and Montgomery Clift and Sal Mineo were dead. My blonde bowl haircut, khaki pants, and polo shirts made me look like Silver Spoon's era Ricky Schroeder. And that's what kids called me. Even though I was growing boobs, I was being called young man a bit too often. I met a new set of friends in junior high that carried purses and wore red sandals, so I tried that look for a while, but I was constantly tripping and forgetting my purse. I didn't wear makeup, nor did I care to. I was not growing taller, nor losing my baby fat, or my pig nose. A friend told me that she heard someone say that she heard that I looked like a newborn baby pig. Wow, thanks for sharing, Kirsten. I was getting crushes on both boys and girls, but I read articles that basically said it was okay to have crushes on other women, and you will outgrow it. But of course, don't act on it. Honestly, I didn't think too much about it. I was worried about people stealing stuff from my locker, because after my backpack was stolen, I told my PE teacher, who told me to get it back. Well, no, isn't that your job? I was worrying that my friends were calling me newborn baby pig and that my tube socks were wrong for PE. Jimmy was doing okay in 3rd and 4th grade, but we had to prepare him for what was to come. The girls on the block sat and discussed this matter with all the seriousness of pregnant yuppie parents deciding preschools. We needed to butch up Jimmy. Now, he never asked for help or discussed any issues he was having. If anything, he was the most comfortable person I knew, but we knew better. Beanie thought we should get someone to beat him up. Told you her family was rough. But we didn't think injury and pain would make a man out of him. He would have to tone down the shoe drawing and the Wizard of Oz for sure. Finally, we thought we could teach him how to play baseball. Nothing more butch than that. So, like that scene from the birdcage, we told him how to, for God's sake, run with his hands down, at his side, not wobbling in the air, use 2 hands to catch the ball, put his arm all the way back while he's throwing, and how to hold a bat. He never did do that right. He always spread his arms apart like he was bunting, but he would make contact. His playing could pass in polite society. He now plays for the Chicago Cubs. Just kidding. Actually, when Jimmy did get to junior high, he announced he was going to learn how to play the cello. We didn't think that would be the most manly instrument, but he didn't care. And you know what? He got really good at it. It was that gave him the confidence he needed to get through school. I was jealous when he got to go to Cold War era Eastern Europe. It seemed so exotic. I always admired him for doing exactly what he wanted to do, always being comfortable in his own skin. I think we bonded more because we knew we were different, even though we couldn't place it. We just thought we had impeccable taste. None of the families on the block, the Mormons or the Baptists, the Catholics or the questionable family, ever had a problem with Jimmy. All the families treated each other and their children with respect and looked out for each other. We went to each other's homes, and when we behaved badly or other parents were sick of us, we were told to go home. Of course, we didn't have social media telling us all how to act or being constantly overwhelmed with a million points of view. We all just trusted each other to be good people. By high school, I started seeing less of Jimmy and the rest of the block. We would reunite every once in a while for weddings or funerals. Jimmy continued to play the cello. He played with experimental bands at CBGB's and with classical orchestras. He worked with a famous fashion designer and married his partner. I think it is brilliant how he was able to live his dream. Beanie married and had a baby at 18. Carla bought her parents' house and raised her family there. We became teachers and lawyers and tech geeks, chefs and parents and grandparents. Yikes. I came out later in life, and that's a whole other VAMP story, and became a teacher and a writer, and I still dig theatrical character actresses. We all came out okay, because for a moment in time, we were all able to rely on each other, play Barbies, watch Tony Randall, go swimming, and play baseball. Thank you.